Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Last Week in DeFi. This week we have less product launches but more drama. If you're holding Usual or Solve BTC, I think it's worth having a listen. So let's get into it. Let's just still start off with launches. This week we had Bluefin launching the auto rebalancer. This is a liquidity management tool, so it's for concentrated liquidity on Bluefin, which is a DEX on Sui. I took a look at this, and one thing I like about Bluefin, I guess Sui in general, is that it's quite easy to onboard. So usually with Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, you would actually have to create seed phrases and store them somewhere and not forget them, or just create like a hot wallet and store your seed phrases insecurely or something. Here you can like create a wallet with your Google sign-on, and I tried it. It's super fast. I did it in like 10 seconds, and then you have a not I wouldn't say it's secure, but it's like less insecure than a regular hot wallet. So pretty cool stuff. And yeah, I like that, Sui and the projects on Sui seem to really focus on user experience and making things easy. Would I buy Sui the token? I'm not quite sure about that. I'm not sure. I think the valuation is like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's super cheap at this point. And then, user experience can be good for growth, but doesn't always translate directly into token prices. So, I still consider other factors, but the user experience on Sui does seem to be pretty decent. And I do hope that, EVM projects and chains can take a look at this and maybe incorporate some of the ideas here. I heard Sui is also good for developers, so yeah. Okay, Radium, which is a order book DEX on Solana, now has perps from Orderly. Curve launched on Sonic. So Sonic is the next iteration of Phantom. Sonic has like a pretty big bounty program for developers, or it did. I think it's already over. But it had that. And then it also has like this points program for users. And it's been doing pretty well, probably because of these programs. But you can see this TVL is doing super well. A lot of projects are deploying here. And for developers, there was this Sonic Boom developer grant program. And also there's, the inherent nature of Sonic is that the fees on Sonic actually partially go to developers, or they go to apps which are burning them. So it's a pretty cool design. I think it's the first in crypto, and it could support good apps to build on Sonic. So pretty interesting mechanism there. Yeah, Vertex, this is another project launching on Sonic. I did notice that this one is a winner of the Sonic Boom developer grant program. So you're probably going to see these on Sonic if they're not already deployed there. Pretty decent stuff. I'd say these projects are generally a little bit higher quality than some of the stuff we saw in Phantom before. Not that the projects on Phantom were all bad, but there's definitely a bit more degen, and these are like more mature protocols. Frax launches. Let me close some tabs. Yeah, Frax launches the Frax UI. You may so Frax is a OG DeFi stablecoin project, and you may think, oh, it's just UI. Yeah, I would say that it is significant for Frax because before, Frax's UI was just like very pro retail, like kind of difficult to use. Now they made it into this like really easy to use like Uniswap like interface. You can swap tokens really easily, and you can even bridge, which is kind of cool. So you can bridge this ETH to Frax ETH on Fraxtal, and it's pretty seamless. They also have this earn tab. You can like stake your Frax and get stake Frax and earn 11% pretty easily. So yeah, it's mostly a UI change, but for Frax it could be good. Yeah. Usual. Okay, yeah. So this is quite interesting. Usual is a stablecoin and RWA protocol. I guess their slogan is like, oh, you can own Tether. You can be your own. You can be Tether, and they do that by having two tokens. They have USD0, which is like the stablecoin, and then they have a another coin which people thought was a stablecoin, but it turns out it's not. It's a bond, and the documentation I think was clear about that, but the positioning of it on on various protocols in their marketing was not quite clear that it was like a bond, or it wasn't as clear as it could have been. And I think people felt a little bit misled because they updated the redemption process over the I think it was on Friday. So originally it was going to be it was a redeemable. Let's see. Yeah, so originally it was redeemable 1-to-1 with USD0, and then they changed it to 87 cents. And to be fair, if it's a bond, then this would be, so it's a 4-year bond, and this would be the fair price of it. But because of the, I guess some of the public messaging around it, on Morpho, USD0++, so the 4-year bond was actually pegged 1-to-1 with USD0, with like a US dollars basically. So people felt misled. Some people, if you bought USD0++ at $1, you kind of got screwed because the price immediately dropped, not quite to 87 cents, but it dropped to like 91 cents over the weekend. I think it's recovered a bit, but still it was users felt like they were rugged. I think partially rightfully so. Like if you read the docs, I think you would have been a little bit more cautious with USD0++, but still the positioning of it, the marketing around it, the integrations seem to assume that it was like a 1-to-1 stablecoin, and then it's they changed the redemption and turned out not to be a 1-to-1 stablecoin. There is some follow-up on this, which is that Usual is introducing a early redemption mechanism. So if you burn your usual yield, your usual rewards, then you can redeem the USD0++. The terms of that are being announced. It sounds like you might need to like hold it for 6 months, but it's not quite clear, and the details are going to be announced hopefully today, or if not, maybe in the next few days. Yeah, so that's Usual. Okay, so sorry about that, kind of lost track of things. All right, here we go. So Unichain is another interesting story for me. So Unichain is Uniswap's new app chain. I guess it's more than an app chain. I think they're trying to have other apps on it as well, and they have permissionless fault proofs right now, which is pretty cool. It's actually a relatively advanced thing to have for a L2 to have that. Like Arbitrum just had a proposal to deploy this, so they're going to have it soon. But Unichain is still on Sepolia, still on testnet, so it's pretty cool that they already have this, and it sounds like they're going to be getting to mainnet relatively soon. Aave on Aptos. I have to say I didn't see this coming. Aave has been mostly on EVM chains, but now they're moving to Aptos, which is a move chain. It's supposed to be really fast. Move is supposed to be nice to develop on. I would have expected like them to deploy on Sui actually, which is like also a move chain, but a little bit has a bit more traction. But it seems like Aptos is also doing relatively well. So yeah, can't blame them. Some other updates: Resolve USR is deployed on Morpho, so you can leverage farm that. That's a yield-bearing stablecoin. Morpho 1.1, relatively small change, more for B2B stuff. Doesn't really affect users. I wouldn't say it's a trading catalyst. Meth, so Fluid now has Meth, so you can leverage farm this LSD and get some ETH yield. Superstate USCC is kind of cool. This is a crypto carry fund, or kind of like you can hold this token, and it's like a kind of like Athena, like a basis trade. And yeah, this is pretty interesting. Some other protocols are integrating it. I'll talk about that more later. Spectra PTs on Morpho, so another leverage farming opportunity. Yeah, so going back to USCC, Frax now has USCC, and this is significant because it's following in the footsteps of protocols like Athena. It seems like there's basically a pattern now of stablecoins are being backed by both treasuries, so in Frax's case it's USTB, and basis trade. In Frax's case it's USCC from Superstate. And this is interesting because it lets stablecoins be resilient in various market conditions. So in a bull market, you want to be, basis trading, earning that funding. So that's USCC. And then in a bear market, when rates are high, or when they're growing, or when they're higher for longer, you want to be in treasuries. So by having both of these, it makes Frax USD more resilient. And it's not just Frax that's doing this. Athena also did this before. From Athena's side, because they're already basis trades, so they added USTB to have the treasury side, and Frax already had USTB, so now they're adding the basis trade. Okay, so the other major drama today was Solve BTC. So Solve, I think it's useful to know what Solve started as. So Solve started as a kind of a C DeFi project where they had vaults. You could deposit some USD or some ETH or whatever, and the vault manager would farm it for you. So it's kind of a C DeFi project. And then they pivoted recently into becoming a kind of a Bitcoin project. And and then recently, a person on Twitter called Hans, who is the founder of Newbit, which is creating kind of a competitor to much of the BTC Fi out today, accused Solve of like having mysterious, let's see, what did he accuse him? Let's see. So cycling the same assets and some other accusations. And here Ryan, the founder of co-founder of Solve, is I guess replying, debunking some of this stuff. It does seem somewhat like this initial accusation does seem somewhat resolved because it's saying that here there's some weird movements, and Ryan is explaining that this is like a different LST. It's not the LST you're thinking of. Here Hans is saying TVL was dropping, which is weird, and then here they're explaining that there's redemption, so that's why TVL is dropping. And then there's some follow-up on that, so let's see. Oh man, I might have to actually dig through here. Oh, here we go, yeah. So the other accusation was that Solve claims 25K Bitcoin staked, but the actuality is less. I looked into this a little bit, and let's see. Like if we just look at DeFi Llama, they seem to have around 25K, a little bit less than that under Solve protocol. But if you look at the details of it, it seems like it's like this much is in the Solve BTC, and then the other half is mostly in this Solve BTC LSTs. So seems like there's kind of like some loose definition on Solve protocol's side about what Bitcoin staking means. So Hans also talks about this in his Twitter, but his definition of staking is like Bitcoin staked on Bitcoin, and here it's like Solve seems to be more like Bitcoin staked on Bitcoin, but also like let's see. Okay, I can't find it, but they're also holding like CBBTC and other Bitcoin collateral, and they're counting that as well as staked Bitcoin, I guess, in their protocol. So it's just like different definitions. It seems like Solve does have that much Bitcoin in their protocol. If I was using Solve, I guess I do like more homework about this. If you're listening to this, you want to use Solve, I'd look into this more. But just at a glance, it seems kind of okay. I also don't see a huge drawdown in the Bitcoin TVL. Seems somewhat normal, so doesn't seem like anything too crazy is going on. But it does highlight that with Bitcoin, with BTC Fi right now, it's not on the same level as Ethereum DeFi, where you can track everything really easily. It's a lot of like centralized custodians. You have to trust them basically. It's hard to verify everything. So I don't know. It's not, BTC Fi is not something I personally use. If I was holding a lot of Bitcoin, I think I would mostly just keep it in Bitcoin itself. I might farm a little bit, but I don't think I would do too much, because there's just a little bit too much centralized custodial trust for my comfort zone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, besides all the drama and the launches and stuff, there's a bunch of like I guess less major but trading significant news. Derive Pro. Derive is doing a AI. It seems like there's a lot of AI agent nonsense. This seems like it might actually be useful. So they say they're going to help with research, execution, and portfolio management. So they're partnering with Masari. So there's going to be some API, some AI integration of Masari into Derive to help you get news, market trends, market data. You're going to be able to talk to it, and it will help you create trades. this seems a little bit less fleshed out, but yeah, still seems quite interesting. Derive is a pretty good team, pretty good project. Formerly Lyra, they're an options protocol. Full disclosure, we are actually farming this because we like Lyra. We spotted Derive this year, relatively early, and yeah, we think it's a good opportunity. So we've been using their call options. So like we weren't really trying to farm Derive directly because we were just trying to use the call option selling vault because it just was a good opportunity to earn ETH yield, and it's doing pretty well. And you also get this upcoming token. So yeah, pretty cool. I would say that it's probably still worth using this. Yeah. Solare. Okay, so this is the other pretty hot project right now. Solare is kind of like the eigenlayer of Solana, so it's a restaking project. You can restake your Sol on Solare. And before, you look at Solare and you think, oh, it's just like a eigenlayer, so it's like a middleware, and that's that. But they seem to be a little bit more ambitious than that. So they're introducing this white paper for essentially a blockchain. I'm not sure if you would call it a Solana network extension or something, whatever terminology Solana uses for its scaling solutions. And I tried to look into this myself a bit, and I even asked Solare some questions about it, and it's not quite clear how this fits in, how it exactly what the positioning this is of this with Solana. It's not a rollup in the sense that of a EVM rollup. You don't have to change your chain ID. You can actually use the same wallet, and they're saying that you don't even have to change the chain ID to interact with this. But I'm not sure it's the same state as Solana. I was reading the white paper, and it seems like it says they have native bridges, so it should be relatively seamless to bridge from Solana to this, but it does seem like it may be a different state. They're gonna have their own because it's much faster than layer 1 Solana or regular Solana, so they're gonna have they have their own consensus mechanism. I thought that was a pretty technical dude until I started reading this. Yeah, but it does seem pretty cool. It's a new chain that's it's not exactly built on Solana. It's like a SVM, which is I don't know, it feels to me this feels kind of like the Matic of Solana, but in 2025 it's almost like a side chain or something, but very tightly integrated with Solana. You don't have to change your wallet. So yeah, interesting stuff. And Solare is a pretty good RST project, so I think this could be worth maybe worth using Solare to try to farm this a bit. Yeah, and yeah, the sorry, I have a bit of a cold. But yeah, the yield is actually pretty good. So I would say this is actually worth checking out. Okay. Yeah, 13% for just for native Sol staking, for Sol restaking, without impermanent loss or anything is pretty damn good. You may be farming this airdrop as well, so pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it seems like using Solare also gets you some other airdrops. Like there's this Sonic airdrop, and this is a different Sonic from the Phantom one, which is a little bit confusing. It's like another SVM. I'm not sure why they have another SVM than Solare on Solare, but yeah, it is what it is. That's mostly it for the airdrops. Another big TVL mover recently has been Boyco, which is a Berachain. So the original project is called Royco, and then Boyco is their Berachain version. And it's kind of like a it's kind of like a farming or airdrop project. Let's see. Yeah, so they have, I think they have two major websites. One is Royco, and one is Boyco for Berachain. So it's very similar to to the familiar like vault interface for farming, like on Yearn Finance or a Superform or something. But here it's like a little bit more nuanced, where there's specific actions you have to do. And apparently users can also negotiate for rewards. I'm not sure you can do it for these specific vaults, but I think in other situations you can actually do that. Yeah, like right here. So yeah, there's like this new airdrop protocol called Royco or Boyco, and there's some pretty good yields on there. So another one for usual. It might actually be okay to do usual at this point because the token has dropped a lot. Yeah, it's at 91 cents now, and I'm not saying it won't drop further because the floor price is 87 cents, but compared to when it was at $1, like this would be a better entry point if you're gonna farm usual, or if you're gonna farm with the USD 0++. And yeah, that's mostly it. Lots of like farming and airdrop news in this week's letter. And this podcast also has its own newsletter. So basically, we sum up the podcast into a newsletter. If you want to, see this news for yourself, or if you want to look at some of our premiums, which are like these, these farms and airdrops, you can also subscribe to our Today in DeFi Premium. Yeah, and if you want to stay up to date with the podcast, you can go to weekly.todayindefi.com. So yeah, thanks for listening.